Welcome back to V-Roll. Today is Tuesday, where we do our Trending Tuesday and look at all the prices that are trending up. Well, not all of them, but we pull out a select few here to quick walk through the market. And actually, I went on a little older side of some things today. Before we jump into that, how about you jump into this potential here to win the Galarian Articuno tin from Crown Zenith, 2 3-pack blisters from Stellar Crown, and a Pokemon Mystery Prize. Try your hand at it. You know what to do. You got to like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Of course, hit the bell. I post 7 days a week. And specifically, do me a favor and go down into the description. There's a link in there. I put a link in there because I want to make sure it's as easy as possible so you know exactly where to go. In fact, you're going to go over to this video here, and that's the one you need to also leave an additional comment on to be sure you are entered to win. That's where I'm going to pull the winners from. Let's get into the Tuesday trending prices here on our Trending Tuesday here on V-Rule. Let's go. Cosmic Eclipse Elite Trainer Box, Sun and Moon era, Cosmic Eclipse. These packs have been kind of skyrocketing lately, and if you end up finding them within a 10 or something, or a box set, if you're picking up some what would be now a little bit older Sword and Shield stuff, there was a handful of these Cosmic Eclipse thrown in there. Pokemon did a good job on this set, and I think it was underappreciated at the time, but now that we're looking back on it and seeing what we would refer to as like the Galarian Gallery or Training Gallery, it was just secret rares at the time, really boosted this set. $414 for an ETB. That sounds crazy. We see things like Evolving Skies and go, oh my gosh, this is going through the roof. The ETB is about 200 right now, I think, something like that. Not even quite. Maybe it's around there. I don't know. I got to double check on that. But Cosmic Eclipse doesn't really hold up the same as Evolving Skies. So keep an eye on it and think it through. With age, some of these things will do better. Vintage doesn't always equal value, but with age, some things do better. And we can see just over the past year, it's been a pretty huge gain here. Almost 11% gain from that 370 mark up to now the 410. Pretty wild here how far that's gone just on an ETB. Again, that wasn't really appreciated at the time. Keeping to a little bit older in Sun and Moon era, Celestial Storm, Booster Box. Booster boxes do well. I'm not going to say they're the best product to invest in, but they could be. It's debatable that they might not be, but they could be the best product to invest in. It's going to be a little bit heavier on the front side there, spending in the $100 range for one piece if you're going to do an invested thing, but it doesn't take up a lot of real estate. It's a lot of packs. They are the standard for those sets because you have a nice sampling there all in one place, and sealed goes a long way. Again, over the course of the year, a really steady climb on this one here, looking at almost 20% from that original 613 to now 735. Pretty wild stuff. XY Evolutions Booster Box. To be honest, I didn't think I'd see this one climbing anymore, and it still continues to climb. This is why I kind of look at things through the lens of modern and where it sits today, what people are thinking about it, how much they're paying for these pieces, and if they want to pack, rip, if they want to end up keeping it sealed, whatever they're going to do. If they're hunting for certain stuff for the TCG, if you're going to do that, I'd say go buy singles that you want. It's going to be a little bit cheaper, probably a lot of it cheaper, than going ahead and trying to pull those few cards that you're looking for. XY Evolutions, when you compare it to something like Evolving Skies, we're all sitting here going, man, Evolving Skies is climbing. Oh, it kind of plateaued at like 700. This one's sitting over, what, 833, 840, 843-ish? That's kind of ridiculous compared to Evolving Skies, because if you pulled every card out of this set here, you can find master sets online for $700. Master sets, you're not going to pull that out of one booster box. That just shows how valuable a booster box is, and that's why things like Evolving Skies, if you have it, I would hold it for as long as you can, because already we can see lesser sets in comparison that are shooting up even higher than that. So something like Evolving Skies getting a little closer to modern, talking Sword and Shield. Something to think about for your investment collection there. Steam Siege. This was the flop set from X and Y that nobody wanted. They thought it was terrible, awful. In fact, even if you got this in the Sword and Shield era, okay, we're talking X and Y, then Sun and Moon, then Sword and Shield. If you got this in a box set or something in the Sword and Shield era, you kind of thought, Steam Siege is still a throwaway pack. Pretty ridiculous. And here, it's gone a steady climb over the past year. Now that we've been doing Scarlet and Violet, and we're sitting up a massive increase, 67%, and putting at $13 for one single pack. That's pretty wild. And that's just the thing. These sets, you don't fully appreciate them in their time. sometimes, and you don't really know where they could go. The further we've gone into this modern era of Sword and Shield and now into the Scarlet Violet, the more that has been printed, the more that people are into it. And things like Twilight Masquerade, are they going to grow that way? Are we going to see it get that crazy high? I don't know, but it is growing right now, which is pretty interesting for the fact that you could pick these up not too long ago, that's 3 months ago, at about $105, $107, and now, because of the playabilities of these cards, because of the hunt for that Greninja, they're just going up to, we're getting close to that 140 mark there at the 137. So pretty wild for Twilight Masquerade there, being again a booster box. Moving into a UPC for 151. Will we see these in the reprint? Pokemon has been talking a big game, a lot of whispers out there. If we're going to see a reprint on 151, one of the best sets of the Scarlet and Violet era, I think, this far. There's a few on the horizon that look really good. $150 we're looking at, right? 142, fine. Most recent sales, 150. Let's see here. 150, 135, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150. How many times do I have to say it? It's sitting pretty close to 150 there steadily. And really, a year ago, 135, over here 142, and that's in the course of a year. That's talking like early pre-sales and early sales of it, where people were FOMOing a little bit. So right after we saw MSRP was pretty easy to get, and then it just started diving. Picking these things up at around $90 wasn't unheard of even not too long ago, a few months ago really. Sticking with 151, again, Pokemon did a great job in this set. No booster box in this one, so you got to look at the UPC, you got to look at the Elite Trainer box, and the Elite Trainer box has been pretty steadily climbing over the past year. A little dip a couple months ago, but here we are back up in this $73 range. Pretty big increase there for an ETB that we are expecting a reprint for the Christmas season. So keep an eye out. I would, if you find these at MSRP, even if it's a little higher, $55, $60, if you find it there, you're going to be in good shape because it's climbed this fast and we're expecting something still. So I think those will be great for the long term to hold Greninja EX. Now, Shrouded Fable didn't do a whole lot for me. Didn't do a whole lot for a lot of people. I don't think there was a lot of interest in opening it, but the Greninja and then the next one, the Kingdra EX promos, these have already done some growing here in the past month, and I think that's pretty interesting. $12 just for the promo. These could be reminiscent of the V and VMAX, the Evolutions that we saw with Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon. So I don't know if we'll get into that territory because they're not as iconic of Pokemon as those, but we are seeing some pretty good gains. This one's a little wild, isn't it? A lot of ups and downs, but overall it is on the profit side here on the upturn there, coming in close to $9 for that one. Paldea Evolve Booster Box, another modern one. A lot of people kind of overlooked it. Massive set. If you compare this to Stellar Crown, Stellar Crown's almost, what, like 200 cards or something? This one's like 280? Something like that. I don't know. I can't remember the full numbers there, but pretty massive set. Lots of illustration rares, so really hard to pull the one you want, that Magikarp, of course. But we're coming into that 150 range quite a bit here, I think, on some of the listed median. Let's take a look at some of those latest sales there. 142 over here, 145, 150, 135. Who knows? That could be just, I don't know, whatever. Now I'm curious. 36 loose packs, okay? So that's going to bring it down a little bit. 145, 145. That seems to be pretty much where we're at there. So despite the numbers here being 141 and a half, 145 seems more realistic for a sealed booster box. Good climb on that one already. Sword and Shield Ultra Premium Collection Charizard. Again, we've gone over this one multiple times because it continues to climb. Good promos. Horrible quality on the promos, so really hard to get great ones, but the artwork is fantastic, and if you get great ones, even more to you. Good pack selection. Evolving Skies is sitting in this box, and we saw a big spike in that 160 range, came down for some recovery, but we're actually getting close to that 165 again, and some recent sales are putting it up in that way of 165 pretty steadily there, 160, 150, 155, and you could see just over the past few days, it's really started to make a climb, getting that 165 range, which was the peak in the past year. So I foresee that to stick around that price and maybe even climb higher. Maybe we get to a $200 box on this one. I don't know. We'll see. Earthen Vessel here, the gold card, Shrouded Fable. You can get this not as a gold card if you want it for the playability, but that's obviously the big flashy one, and this may be one of the higher prices there. I think we're pretty honest sitting in that $65 range we're seeing here. $60, 65 in that range, 70 over here. Yeah. Okay, so it's up there, and it's all about the playability on this one. That will not last once it gets turned out of rotation, or people find different mechanics they want to use. This one may fall by the wayside. So would I pick it up here? If you're going to do it and you're playing competitively and you want that flash, fine. One more that I'm going off of. You're not going to find this on TCG Player. Maybe you will. I don't know. I haven't looked. But the Yuganaba, I'm butchering it. The promos. Very interesting artwork. If you're not familiar, it's a set of promos. You didn't know you'd get them. You'd buy product, you'd get a little pack. It's a single card. You open it up. So these were printed into oblivion. These were priced out at $250 for a while. Then they came crashing down to the $150 range. Now they're on the climb again. I'm seeing this $180 price kind of all over the place for the set of 9. So interesting pickup. It's something that I would like to add to my collection. They're Japanese exclusive. I do like the artwork. The Pikachu is pretty fantastic. That came out of that earlier, a couple of years earlier, and I do have a couple of those. So that'd be a cool pickup to add. Maybe you can add some stuff to yours. Maybe you can just go ahead and add some free cards with that Galarian Articuno tin from Crown Zenith, 2 3-pack blisters from Stellar Crown for 2 additional winners, and an overall 4th prize in a Pokemon mystery prize that I'm giving out to 4 lucky winners. All you got to do is like, comment, and subscribe. Be a part of V-Rule, and I really appreciate the support. It's been pretty steadily growing. We're approaching 2,000 subscribers, and I think a big part of it is me trying to come around for you and be a part of the community and posting every single day, and I will continue to do so. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.